make sure we're good to go. UW Lost Souls. And UW Shinigami. Alrighty. We're in there like swimwear.
Yeah, and picks and bans. Game number 1, we've already got Soul and Freya both banned along with the Al Kwong. Absolute shocker to nobody with the cleanup ban as well. Blaze, this is going to be kind of a more interesting one going into the picks part because, I mean, we've got quite a bit open since we're focusing so hard on Assassins and ADCs.
Yeah, and well, these two teams both play each other often, I'm pretty sure. They are both from the same little organization, UW. So they have, you know, the knowledge of what each other like to play. And it's not surprising seeing pretty much every mage ADC banned. It is surprising, even though after the nerfs, that they're being so high prioritized with the bans. I mean, I can't even say that I've really seen any since the nerfs have happened.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Those slight nerfs.
Yeah, the slight nerfs really drove everybody away.
Mage ADCs, definitely, sure.
They didn't, right? But, like, the weird thing is, like...
There's no way they did.
But even in casuals, like, I'm not seeing them. And it's just so strange.
I think it's because people overestimate slight nerfs.
Yeah.
And think it just makes it unplayable. I don't think they really understand, like, just how much of the mage ADC's own character's base power actually applies so much into why they're good. And Soul's still going to be good because of her passive. Like, don't underestimate mage ADCs just because of a slight nerf to the rings right now. And here's something we haven't gotten to see yet. Surtur is going to be locked in first.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes. I don't highly prioritize Surtur after the nerfs he's gotten. I still think he is very good in solo. I think he does kind of the same things that Yorm wants to do, right? Where he wants to interrupt a lot of the battle with his ultimate and kind of be a distraction when he comes in. But playing around that ultimate can be difficult, right? Like, you're coming down from the air. You have to make sure there's good communication happening. You want to land and get the knock up. Obviously, the minions are good, too, to help you out with, again, more of that distraction tactic. Really curious to see what the build path is going to be for this Surtur here. Is it going to be something with the mitigations? Is it going to be something more of going, Glad Shield, even though it was recently nerfed, and trying to go that route with Axe? Like, what is the plan here? We do see Mercury picked up, and Mercury was pretty heftily nerfed this past week.
Yeah, he did get somewhat of a nerf. Crit items didn't really see as much of a nerf as he did. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is going to depend on how early you can get ahead. That's Mercury's MO from the start, even when he's good. Golden Blade's still going to do what it does early on for him. So it's honestly, I think it's more of he can't rush Rage anymore. He has to go Golden Blade first.
Yeah.
But, that just puts him back to that slight delay from Cray. He can still clear. He can still come in for a quick poke fight. It only changes the early game so much. It doesn't really do much for the late game. So this is really, I think for the Mercury, it's going to rely more on this. How quickly can he get active in ganks, or how quickly can he get Golden Blade built while keeping up in farm and XP? And that's going to come down, honestly, to the type of jungler that they decide to pick over on the other side, because they've got Ishtar and Bacchus in the dual lane. So they're still waiting on their mid and their jungler. Whereas back with our Mercury's team, they've got an Agni and Umoja. So they're like, well, we can just pick an ADC and a solo laner now. And with the options still available, even though Guan Yu and Jingwei are both cut out, there's still a lot left that can compete.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised to see Jingwei banned here. I haven't really been impressed with Jingwei's presence. Obviously, she builds into crit really well. She's relatively safe. I would say her passive is good, but I just don't feel like she's heavily prioritized. I don't think she's very scary in lane. Where Guan Yu is. Guan Yu, you don't want to have to face that later on. There's a lot of healing going on. Obviously has a great ultimate to get the CC off. Not a surprise to see that banned away. We also see the Hibwa and the Baba Yaga banned away over here for UW Shinigami. And Baba Yaga is kind of a sleeper pick, I feel like. I feel like a lot of people aren't really picking up about how good Baba Yaga is right now. And while I'm surprised to see it banned, because I don't think people prioritize it often, it does make me happy to know that at least somebody, respects the damage that Baba Yaga can put out and the fact that, you get those stacking items online pretty easily. Tsukiyumi is going to be the pick here to go along with the Mercury, so guessing that's probably going to go solo unless it's Tsukiyomi ADC, which is going to be kind of surprising here.
No. I don't need to see Valhalla Valkyrie strats here. Please, let's not. Come on, man. We saw it lose for a reason. But let's not get... I don't even want to think about what's going to happen with that. Please be wrong. Please be wrong. That's all I can say is please be wrong. In the meantime, we're going to see a rounded out draft with Poseidon and Wilkes coming in, which is very good for the draft overall because that's quite a few knockups on this on the order side right now. I mean, Husky's Poseidon, you've got Twerhurlock picking up the Surtur, which if I remember correctly, the ultimate does knock up. So that's going to be pretty impactful, along with your support being able to knock up. So there's a lot of options here for the jungler. In the meantime, it's going to be Cernos last picked, so...
Tsukiyomi solo.
Oh, it's solo, yeah. It's solo.
Yeah. I like Poseidon here. I do have to throw out the shout out to Poseidon here. I've been playing him a lot in ADC. Obviously, I'm pretty sure it's going mid here. But I like what Poseidon does against this enemy draft where, you have a really good time trying to shut down Mercury with that Whirlpool. You're going to be able to catch that Agni dash, not draft. And then Kurnanos as well. You're getting a lot of use out of that Poseidon, and you're going to be able to follow up those knockups really easily off that Whirlpool since they're crippled and can't get away. I think that's going to be pretty big here going into game number 1 of UW Lost Souls versus UW Shinigami. Let's hop in.
And Blaze, we're getting to game number 1 here, and one of the... Okay, that's a lot of stars on that emoji. All right. It's one of the interesting things that we get to see sometimes, but Lost Souls and Shinigami, you mentioned that they're coming from the same org, so it's possible that they scrim a lot. You don't often see, teams in the same division share the same org, but we're coming into an interesting time here. So how these teams decide to play each other, I'm sure will be based off of past scrims. Honestly, my curiosity right now is, does Twirlaholic take advantage of knowing they're going up against the Mercury to roam the map? Because you've got the Suku, which makes you a lot faster. It gives you a lot of mobility across the map. And this gives that initial, hey, I can apply early pressure that Raptor won't be able to.
Right. And I think the one thing I've been seeing lately, and it makes me curious, is about what the jungles want to do at the start of the game. Because junglers have been doing a couple different things. You have your jungles that like to go straight to solo and gank solo. You have your jungles that like to go mid. And you go, okay, I'm going to farm a little bit here. Maybe I get a pick that's cool. And then you have the third option of, do they go straight to speed buff or do they go straight to duo and get the duo gank? So I'm curious to see which of these pathways the junglers decide to take, because I think that's really impactful on the map. If you can get the duo gank early, get your duo lane ahead, and then really control that lane, it opens up a lot for you on this left side of the map. And then eventually your enemy team has to come over and try to either help with that pressure or literally just all in on the Pyro Fire Giant side, which is really hard to do because you don't want to be giving up Gold Furies later on in the game. And I am curious to see how that little jungle matchup goes. Along with that, I do think it's important about how each team is going to start here. I've seen a lot of different starts over the past couple casts. People doing the 3 pull start here, which is purple back camps and green on the left side. Not a huge fan of that. I'm more of a fan of doing the green and back camps together. I think it's a little bit safer. You don't lose as much health if you're the support. But we'll have to see how it pans out. I do have to say UW Shinigami does have Mercury on this duo lane side, though.
And that's the nice thing about Mercury's kit is that special delivery. Especially seeing he's running the Wings Relic with beads, he's going to be able to gain that extra speed and power. Special delivery, throw back to a Yamoja if she, Yamoja hits the stun. That's just extra long, and you've got a Certanos within his kit. If depending on when he gets his first ability, he will be able to simply throw out extra damage just because of the ability he gets for his glaives. Now, he also does get lifesteal out of him, so it depends on which way he wants to play it, whether it's safe or highly aggressive. And we're going to have to find out here shortly how he's going to decide to play, because they are finally entering the duel lane against each other. And Logic actually takes a gutsy leap in, gets the double stun, but in comes Raptor from the side. Special delivery straight to his team, but the stun is not good from Zakor. It doesn't matter, though. The damage is there. Can they keep up long enough? This time the stun's good. The leap, though, will put him back. And instead, Zoot says, hey, Raptor, don't ignore me. First blood, lost souls.
Yeah, Zoots with the boops, man. I think you have to just leave that alone. As soon as that leap goes, I don't think you can chase any longer. I mean, I know you want the kill. You want that early lead. That first blood's going to feel really good. But now you've relieved all the pressure that you're trying to give. And now we have Twirlaholic over here just waiting in the jungle, seeing, hey, can I go for this Gorp, or can I get, a nice little gank off here?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Is the jungler, you don't want to stay too long in one spot, but because of the timing of this neutral camp coming up, Twirlahawk's going to have a little bit of extra farm for free. And the dual lane can just stay aggressive. They don't even have to rotate to it. They're just going to say, no, we're fine as we are. The one thing you keep in mind is Twirlaholic was sitting on a ward there early on, so that also gave Shinigami's dual lane a big notice of what's going on, as we see the left neutrals go to Lost Souls mid and jungler, and Shinigami gets the rights. A little bit of trade-off there, but the difference here is going to be this Poseidon level 4. Raptor's looking for him, but finds a dash into the wall, straight into Twirlaholic. The Whirlpool's good for a little bit, but the wave is better for Getnik. Gets himself a kill. Twirlaholic was looking to try and leap on just in case, but no opportunity there.
And that's what I was talking about. That Whirlpool feels really good against Mercury. Got the beads, too. So, Mercury has to be very careful here. It dies 2 times early on under the 3-minute mark, and now you kind of have to decide, is my aggression worth it, or do I just need to farm for a bit? And that's a rough time as a jungler here, as aggression happens in the duo side.
Oh, Aurora has the dash, able to use it just in time. One more hit, and Zoots would have found themselves another kill. This start so far, if that third kill had happened, this would have been actually at a point of, I would consider devastating this early. For Shinigami, they're already down 1,300 gold before 3 minutes. And now they've had their purple buff stolen away. Raptor's here, though. Wants to try and help the team, but does not have that golden blade online. But Zoots is about half health. Getting the beads out, so they're going to walk away. And Logic was actually ignored. But for Getnik hitting level 5, going to rotate over just in case. Having that Kraken available. Which tells me that Raptor especially stop ganking, go straight for farm. If you die again before having Golden Blade, you may be out of the game for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the scary time, right? You go for that early gank, you fall, you go for another gank, you fall, and it makes you go, okay, like, what's my next plan? And this is something you always have to discuss when you're playing comp is, okay, guys, like, I've fallen a couple times early. I'm a little bit behind here. I need to get my farm online. I am not going to be able to come to these fights. And sometimes your teammates are going to be like, yo, I need you here. And you're like, man, hear me out. I'm level 4. This Wheelish looking like level 5, almost 6. This could be problematic if I don't get my farm going. So hopefully Raptor's able to recover from this. It is a Mercury. That ult is going to be pretty useful if you can land those. So I do expect Raptor able to get back into this game. But it is a rough time as the jungler to sit around and go, okay, guys, I need to be able to get some farm. Because you're the impact player in a lot of situations in Season 10.
Absolutely. And the one thing is, like, getting off to a bad start early. You can obviously catch up later the game goes as long as you're not dying. The concern right now is just trying to do anything without that Golden Blade. Falling behind. I mean, look, Twirlahawk has Yotum's Wrath online already, so you're behind quite a bit of gold to the enemy's jungler, and as a jungler, it's really not affordable to keep trying to fight at that point, especially when you're all the deaths on your team. So far, Raptor doing a good job of farming. He's going to come to mid, try and help just in case. Logic going to miss the leap in. He's going to get special delivery right under the tier 1 tower. Oh, the beads forced out from a Raptor by Twirlaholic. A nice knock up there. Just unable to get the pull in, and I'm sure Raptor knew that if those beats didn't go off, that was a Kraken meaning his doom as soon as he lands. The decision making there is over the solo side. Yeah, and this is the Surtur we know, just absolutely harassing other solo laners, and now Yonakiss going back. Narwhallby showing face a little early, but it's still gonna kind of be dancing around.
Yeah, gonna get to secure a nice little blue buff steal here, and some poke. You know, just sending the message that hey, I'm here. I'm looking for that blue buff and maybe a kill as well. But Raptor makes the rotation here, and Aurora tries to go for the ultimate. It's a little bit off the mark, but this. Oh my goodness, the Blades of Light are good, and Zoots turns it around. Aura ends up falling, but so does Zoots. Nice little trade there, but Raptor is online now. Has a golden blade, does get a kill. That has to feel pretty good.
I hope it feels good, because that is much needed golden XP. Actually put him ahead of Narwhllaby in that moment too. The unfortunate thing there is that Zoots still got the kill at the end. And that ult, fortunately for Raptor, it didn't stun him or Aurora, because if had the stun gone on both, it would have been a kill and possibly no return at all. Logic just making some setup plays there for Get Nick off the knockup from his support. Manages to get a free Kraken off, taking know-how out of the picture. Already finding himself 2-0-0 on the Poseidon. Almost 40 stacks in that Book of Thoth, and well, the nerfed Tablet of Destinies that I still don't think needs to be prioritized. I get it's an Agni, but it's not looking that easy to stack at this point.
Yeah, I hear Divine's good. That's all. I'm throwing it out there. I've been mentioning on the cast this week. You know, Divine, he does some cool stuff. You know,
I mean, Surtur does have healing.
He does have healing, and it also has a pretty cool Odibo passive that does good damage. Just throwing it out there. I do want to do a throwback to Napa Know-How. I think Napa Know-How knows how those towers work now, because let me tell you, that dash in was critical. Eating 2 tower shots there even before Logic got the belly flop. It's a tough time, as I'm a big advocate of towers needing to be a little bit stronger this season. Towers did do work there, so a little unfortunate, but I do like this play here by Forget Nick on this Poseidon. You know, getting this Toth stacked early. I think Toth is still good despite the nerf. Curious to see if Forget Nick decides Tablet of Destinies is the way. I don't think it's particularly fantastic on Poseidon, but it looks like maybe a Divine is going to be built here for Forget Nick, so we will see that for one of the mid laners, which will make me pretty happy.
Honestly, I hope that is Divine. There is a Yamoja and a Certanos who's going to build Lifesteal, has Lifesteal in the kit. You know that Napa's probably going to go Soul Gem just to have some cooldown. Raptor may get with Bloodforge later on. So Onyx is already going into Soul Eater. So this is one of those situations where you're like, going Divine is very obvious here.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that is what that item turns out to be for Forget Nick, especially with the lead that they've gotten already. Go for the cheaper items than trying to build another stacking item that is going to take you even longer to get online. And, speaking of getting online, Raptor sends it with the Sonic Boom down the lane. Iskor going to be the one to take out Nick. And that's a big spill coming in for Shinigami's. There's that mid laner. Had he been allowed to keep going for free, that's a lot of XP and farm he's getting stacked up after your mid laner having taken a spill. So good on them so far to get that back. And Logic taking a little bit of poke, but still tanky enough not to really feel the effects of a Tablet of Destinies this early.
And Raptor, having that rough start early for the first 3 minutes has really turned it around in the past 6. Now, a level and a half up or so on Narwhallaby, and really feeling good. As I got talked about earlier, that Mercury ultimate, being able just to come down lane and make such an impact without really having to be seen beforehand, goes a long way if you can land it. And it ended up in a kill in that case. And Raptor's feeling pretty good now after an 0-2 start to be able to turn around a bit and get back online and get a little bit of a lead here on this Mercury.
And this pressure is helping across the map as well. Zoots does hit 10 before Aurora, but I mean, he's closer to having both Bastions down, getting some pressure. Sakor here helping regain that pressure, and Zoots getting very aggressive, but there's a reason for that. 3 members rotating over for the gank. Narwhallaby says, hey, Let's just go ahead and get this Emoja, but the nice plays using the kit Zakor, getting themselves pretty far out. The ultimate coming for Aurora. Oh, the pull! The knockup was just in from the crack and maybe a little bit on the edge, but it's enough. Narwhallahby pulls in Zakor. And one issue, though, there were 4 ults used in that rotation to kill the support.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of debt to pay, and you're hoping this Gold Fury goes your way after that. Aurora might be coming over here to steal it, but instead they're going to have to drop it. They can't afford to stay, as Napa Know How and Raptor also make the rotation over just to try to push them off the Gold Fury and are successful in doing so. A lot of assets used there just to get this Yemoja, and if it's taken that much now, it can only make you realize how big anti-heal is going to play a role later on. Yemoja gonna be healing for kind of free later on in the game, so it's something you do have to worry about, especially for those that don't know. Yemoja's autos, they heal. Fun facts of the day. I've seen plenty of Yemojas that don't throw them at allies, but you can do that. They do heal. So now UW Shinigami is looking around this Gold Fury, and I'm curious to see if they try to get a pick themselves and make a rotation in to pick it up. It is about that time to start looking for a Gold Fury or a Pyromancer. So curious to see which objective will go down first.
It's definitely going to be whichever team wants to make that first decision, but right now we do see Forgetnik level 12, same with Theonicus. I think the main concern right now is going to be... Oh, well, I'm talking about main concerns, but Shinigami, they got Ionicus falling low, gets a nice double stun, but Husky, surprisingly, didn't keep the chase. Narwhllaby, though, says, I will go in. Unfortunately, that's your leap. You don't have the Panther to get back on, so Narwhllaby will forward it as a core. As Husky now still has the ult available if he needs to get out. Just fighting, dancing around. Will miss the stun, but Raptor says, no, it's not worth it at this point. We traded. Good enough. Let's get back. And that is one rage stack online for this Mercury. And, ooh, the double dash. Aurora staying away from getting rooted in place and taking a little bit of extra damage. So these two ADCs trying to battle it out, trying to get to those rage stacks before the other. Aurora is going to be at that disadvantage, and look at those chunks from the power and some crits.
Wow. I mean, like, this is the 1v1 you want to see, and I talk about this now as like duo lane. Like, it starts off as duo for the first few minutes as Aurora's under the heavy aggression here. They're going to go for the kill, and they're going to get it. Zoot ends up finishing off that kill, and that will result in a left side tower, possibly. No, Raptor makes the rotation in and is looking to not only push them off the tower, but maybe try to find something with it. And instead, we'll just defend the tower for now, as Zakor does make the rotation on the Yemoja. But here comes Narwhllaby. I don't think UW Lost Souls is going to let this go. They want more, and they're looking to get it.
So far, it looks like they will, and that will happen because a nice CC combo coming in from those three prevents Zakor from using any abilities of their own. This does open opportunity for the Gold Fury at last. Much healthier this time are the members of Lost Souls, and they do have more ultimates as well, so they don't have the same concern. Raptor's going to try and come in, but a nice Kraken will say, you're too late anyways. Raptor instead is going to just stay back, have to regroup with the teammates that are up. It's Logic and Zoots making some good teamwork plays to make sure Aurora goes down before leading up to that Gold Fury and to secure a couple buffs for themselves.
Yeah, just really, really good play there by Lost Souls. You know, great 1v1 happening before we got into that little spat there I was talking about. A lot of times with these carries now, it's like the second dual lane, or second solo lane, where these carries are now 1v1ing a lot of the time in Season 10. It's more than we've seen in previous seasons, where the Hunters or Mage ADCs now are 1v1ing the same way solo laners do, and you have the 3v3 happening in mid, or just jungle and support roaming around in between lanes. So it was nice seeing that pan out. Unfortunately for Aurora, it didn't go their way, and UW Shinigami ends up paying the price trying to save their tower there by losing one and a Gold Fury. Now down almost 3,200 gold at 14 minutes.
And it's also paid off in the XP department plays. I mean, we see Zoots level 14 compared to Aurora's 13. Ragnik's Forgetnik has 14 to 13 as well. Yes, Narwhllaby is down to Raptor. That's also just due to later kill involvement and Raptor focusing more on farming. Narwhallahby has been doing a lot of roaming this later on, but the kills they've been a part of have just been more impactful so far. His power mans are still standing no return on it for the Gold Fury, so it's kind of a situation where Shinigami, they're down about 3k gold right now. They need to be careful in the fights they're taking. And speaking of being careful, they have Husky rotating behind them, and I don't even think they were aware of that.
Yeah, that was a scary time for Shinigami. I'm watching Husky just kind of hover in the back there looking for somebody, and I was afraid for Raptor more than anybody because that might happen as the solo comes out from Zoots, and that's a scary time if you're UW Shinigami. This Ishtar is going to be getting online very, very quickly now and going to spiraling a lead. And Zoots is 5-1-1, by the way.
Yeah, this is the point, Blaze, where it seems that Shinigami needs to make a decision. Are they going to abandon the dual lane completely now that he's 0-3-1 and it's this far down? And there's an Executioner online for Zoots, whereas it's just a tier 2 item for Aurora. Or, are they going to abandon the dual lane and go, okay, who do we focus next? If I'm then, you're going to focus someone. Get Husky out. Deal with Deserter now.
Yeah.
But if they're just going to keep playing this game of just play it standard, well, now your ADC has pressure against them, so they can't just rotate, whereas Lost Souls ADC can, and I feel like that's going to bring a lot bigger concern.
Yeah, and the good thing here for Aurora is if Zoots decides, hey, I'm going to rotate out of this lane, that's perfect opportunity for you to farm. The wave's going to push up to you. You can farm safe now. But that farming safe does come at the cost of not being able to rotate easily. So we're going to have to see how both teams decide to handle this. Is Zoots going to stay over there and keep pressure on that lane and try to force a rotation over there, which then leads maybe to a Pyro? Or is Zoots going to make a rotation to help with Pyro, then look for a Fire? It really comes down to how these teams want to play, but it does need to become a situation of, are we going to go kill this Ishtar, or are we just going to let the Ishtar farm up and call it a day? And who are we focusing if we're not getting Ishtar off the board?
That question will need to be answered at some point. So far, doesn't seem like they're really focusing on anything, just constantly pushing their waves, playing the map normally. We do see, though, that in mid, Shinigami do almost have this tier 1 mid tower from Lost Souls taken away. So there is something to be said about keeping up pressure and clear there. But Zoots already made a rotation over. Oh, and so is Ionikis. He's gone ahead and used the teleport to get in. Shinigami, you're the ones who secured the Pyromancer over Lost Souls. But Husky is here and says, I'm going in the ult. It doesn't knock anyone up, but he does manage to get a pullback on Ionikis, causing the Kraken to be off the mark. But the ultimate coming in, Raptor on the back end gets Narwhllaby. And Ionikis is just going to walk on out. Raptor's going to get caught in between four, but a good Aegis prevents him from dying. So far, Logic will get a knockup, but it's on Zakor, not the Mercury jungler. And suddenly, Shinigami from 3k down are now 2k down and taking advantage of the fight this far.
Not only that, I mean, look where Aurora was. Aurora was at the tier 2 and left, gets a lot of that XP back, gets some gold back. And Shinigami win that fight. They get the Pyro, they get a kill, and they get a tower out of that whole entire thing when Lost Souls had pretty good positioning and relic usage there, but Raptor just so well positioned there to get a kill. And really great relic usage there by Raptor, because I talked about this Poseidon and this Whirlpool and what happened to Raptor. Stepped in the Whirlpool and, oh no, I have to use relics to get out. That's my way. And really good pick there by Raptor. Good way of getting out as well. UW Lost Souls has to be careful here, because they might be playing into the hand of what Shinigami wants at this point.
That's the thing. It doesn't matter that the kills say 9-4 and that they're a couple K gold ahead. At the end of the day, it comes down to how well do you take advantage of the kills that you get. And this is a situation where Shinigami in that last fight... okay, speaking of the kills you get, Narwhllaby is going to take Nappa, know-how down mid. Now they're pushing into the tier 1. Raptor finding themselves in trouble. The knockback from the wave from Forget Nick, though, will keep Raptor safe for now, so they won't be able to keep up pressure on the tier 1 tower. However, even walking over the boards, they will be able to race it over to this Primal Fury, try and take it down. Narwhllaby gonna play aggressive, but needs to be careful. Raptor did just take them out. That's a Deathbringer online. It's Lost Souls with the Kraken will secure the Primal Fury, and they want to get aggressive off this as well as the core, finding themselves in a little bit of trouble.
And Twirlhawk still chasing it down. Zakor is going to be able to get out here. But now, the rest of UW Lost Souls are on the way. Husky is looking at Raptor here, holding him out. And this could be a little bit scary. They have to decide, are they going to go for a tower or not? Twirlhawk decides to fake the lazy back here. And now it looks like an all-in towards mid. And maybe start dancing around this tier 1, maybe looking for more after that. The wave is pushed up. They should be able to make a fight for here. Nappa's dash is down, and this could be a death for Agni.
Husky decides to take advantage and apply pressure, but a nice ultimate from Zakor is going to separate these members, and Husky's going to have to use the ult to get out. Meanwhile, on the right side, Ionikis is going to take advantage of the solo laner not being here and try and get this tier 1 tower down himself. Got a full wave to back him up, and he's going to be able to walk right in. But unfortunately for him, there's a full team coming his way. They're going to give up the tier 1 tower in mid as a sacrifice for attempting to find Ionikis, but they're not able to get close. Logic will get the knock up and the stun. Whirlpool will come in, but a bees used by Ionikis guarantees that he will not be under further threat unless they dive this tower. And at this point, there's too many members from Shinigami around.
Yeah, Lost Souls really just staying grouped as 5 here, looking for something and finding a whole lot of nothing. Got a couple relics, but not able to get much else other than that. I will have to say, I'm impressed by the Tsukiyomi thus far because I think this is a hard matchup playing into Surtur. But I think it's been played really well here. Obviously, it has the 2-level lead, and I'm happy to see a Contagion online. I know Contagion was a contentious item at the beginning of the season, but it has gotten a bit better. It does have to use the ultimate to get out there, but now Husky looking to get aggressive.
Taking that ultimate up, trying to land Ion on Ionikis, will manage to do so. Contagion procs onto him, but it doesn't matter. He's pretty tanky. Tier 1 tower will go down in the right side. In the meantime, though, there's a tier 2 under threat from Aurora on the left-hand side. Zakor falling low, still able to use those portals to get away. Raptor managing to survive a nice shell, helping him there. But Lost Souls, they're looking to push a tier 2, but instead, they're backing off. Even with 2 members low from Shinigami that needs a back, they decide, nope, we're giving this up. We're going back. Not for the...
Pyro?
Yeah, it's not for the Fire Giant. I don't think they know what they really want to do. Twirlhawk says, I want the Pyromancer. The rest of the team looked like they wanted fire, but they're going to go ahead and go to the Pyromancer anyways. And Ionikis is getting close. He may be able to steal this away, but they managed to keep him further enough out that Lost Souls will take it. Fire Giant will not be contested. I don't know, Blaze. I'm not a fan of this decision making so far. Lost Souls, they may be 1k gold up, but they are down by 2 towers, only 2 tier 2s left standing, and Aurora hasn't been a part of these fights.
Yeah, I mean,
they've just been sitting in that lane.
The only thing I can think of is, like, they knew Aurora got the tier 2 and showed face near the Phoenix. Do they think they, okay, maybe it's faking the back and then gonna go back in right when we pull fire and then go for a Phoenix? I still think you go fire there. Like, you force the fight. One of them is low, and the other 3 are around, but, like, you're probably getting at least a pick off that, right? And then a Fire Giant, too. It has to feel pretty good. But the Fire Giant just gets to chill here, taking no damage, with 2 Sentry Wards on either side of him. I'm just kind of confused.
Those Sentry Wards aren't picking each other up either because the Fire Giant does block vision around it. So I don't know, Blaze. It's definitely concerning, especially considering this lead that Zoots had for so long. It just feels like once the rotation started, they weren't able to take advantage of anything they wanted to. They'd be getting 1 pick at a time, but they've been losing everything but a couple of objectives for it. And that Kraken just in time. Ohao nearly stole that away with the second bomb. So good job for Lost Souls managing to get that, increase their lead back up to 2k gold. It's really going to come down to these fights. It doesn't matter how much of a gold lead you have if the other team's the one coming out the winner in the team fight.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Shinigami's plan is here. Are they going to let Lost Souls go ahead and pick up the fire and then look to engage, or are they the ones that are going to ingress on the fire? So far, there's good ward coverage from both teams, but really and truly, we haven't seen a full 5-on-5 yet. We've seen a lot of 4-on-5s, but when the 5v5 happens, Shinigami's already been winning the 4v5 pretty well, and it's scary to think in a 5v5, Lost Souls could have some problems, especially with Aurora. I mean, you have Rage, not any stacks on it, but Rage, you have Demon Blade, you have a Dominance, some good shred in there. You're going to be doing some good autos, some nice damage to anybody on the enemy team, especially when there's no Spectral involved.
I'm curious if Aurora is going to go Kinsai or Executioner at some point. Do you think those are still staple items for any ADC Hunter build? So we'll have to see what they end up deciding.
Definitely Kinsai's. Has to be.
Yeah. And now, the thing for Zoots is we do see a tier 2 stack of crit item. The question is, will it be something like Deathbringer? At this point, I'm guessing it has to be Deathbringer because the build that we're in, I don't see that being Demon Blade. But you never know what these ADCs are going to decide to do. And in the meantime, look at what item Forget Nick has decided to go. It's not going to be a Soul Gem. It's going to be a Staff of Mirrodin.
Interesting choice here. I don't think it's bad. We haven't seen a lot this season. Oh, Zakor gets pulled in and deleted. Oh, holy.
Big damage coming out. Zeus getting the kill, but Raptor combining with know-how on the ults is going to take Twirlaholic out. Husky's going up, looking for the mid laner of Shinigami. Uses both relics. Did not find any more trouble as Husky going to take a little bit of poke, but walk on away. Ionikis on the right side as the rest of his team says, we may have our jungler down, but we're going to go ahead and go for this Fire Giant. In comes Ionikis trying to find any kind of damage and distraction. Aurora coming in. Husky's getting shredded. Raptor takes them out. And now Lost Souls realizing without their soul laner, they cannot continue. But the Fire Giant is so low. The crit online. Shinigami decide to pick it up. Their Kraken is here. If he can get close, will he be able to? He's getting in range. Use the Kraken. Gets it. Stolen away from Shinigami. Zoots takes the Ionikis down. And Aurora. Oh my goodness. Look at those crits. Aurora manages to dash away.
What a fight there. Both teams getting a little dicey, but Lost Souls do come away with the Fire Giant at 27 minutes, and this is something they needed. They need to be able to go and push these towers down. They are not at a tower advantage at this point. The gold lead there had kind of trickled back and almost even. This Fire Giant, along with a couple kills, is going to help out here. Now the back's coming through, going to finish off some itemization. And really and truly, this should allow them to at least get, tier 1 and a couple tier 2s off the map, and then hopefully an Oni Fury. But we'll have to see how it goes. UW Shinigami is not going to let these go for free. And I do have to shout out Raptor. I mean, really has this played well after that first 3 minutes. Wasn't the play, but since then has been very impactful on this Mercury. Now has the Venom Deathbringer online, along with the Serrated Blade. Has to be feeling pretty good here. And I'm a little bit surprised to see 2 Stone of Bindings for Lost Souls here on the Surtur and on the Bacchus. But look at that. Lost Souls just went straight for the Oni. They want to go ahead and push those waves early and start running it down. Looks like they're going to go left lane first and get the tier 2.
Raptor alone in the jungle is going to dash away to our Hawk, though. A nice blink, pull, ult, and deletion of Raptor. And Husky says, this is my time to go in. And he's looking onto Aurora. Gonna get a slight knockup, but trapped into the tier 2 tower. Logic leaps on in, wants to help solo laner, doing everything they can, but the ult from an own kiss. Logic takes out Aurora, but Husky solo just unable to fall right now. And look at Logic still standing inside the tier 2 tower. But they're going to back off for a little bit. Twirlaholic is going to be at half health, decides to back away. But Logic going back in brings the jungler back. They're looking for opportunity, and it's just not presenting itself anymore. Husky, though, will be coming back. These Oni Fury waves, they're pushing up all sides of the map. This is going to lead to opportunity at some point. In the meantime, though, 2 members down for 10 more seconds. They go in. Finally, Ionikis gets trapped down. Looking for a way to try and get out. Zeus is stepping up, though. He's going to use the ultimate. Gets the secure, and finally takes Ionikis out. The tier 2 falls as well, and Husky just pushing up to that Phoenix. But it looks like Logic has said, hey, guys, that's enough. I need it back. They're going to regroup, go for the tier 2 tower in mid. The right Oni Fury wave may get to that tier 2 and solo. depending if anyone reacts to it in time or not.
And this is huge. You know, tier 2 and tier 1 fell there. Now another tier 2. Onis are on the tier 2 and right, and all the tier 2s are just falling down. Great play and awareness here by Lost Souls. But Shinigami, you know, did have a pretty good defense going there to hold them off. Pyromancer looks like it's going to be the next play here. They're going to leave that right tier 2 up for another day. As I assume they wait for the next Fire Giant to spawn and see if they can get some picks before then, or, you know, as it spawns.
That definitely should be the play. I mean, we're 30 minutes in. This is going to be the enhanced Fire Giant. They've regained their ground after losing it through slow picks. You know, they're up 15 kills to 6. They're up in towers now as well. They're up 10k gold. Almost all their builds are online. Shinigami still trying to get there. They're struggling, but they're managing to get there little by little. And the difference here is going to be your mid and jungler are almost done. Support likely going to be done before the other team's support. And Zoots is 8-1-3. Did finish off with that enhanced Deathbringer. So this is going to be interesting to see how the rest of this game goes. But one item that's interesting to see picked up, just taking a look at Husky here, that final item, the Archerd's Fury. Now, that's an item we don't see too much of.
I can say I don't think I've seen this item a single comp game that I've played. Or a scrim. Or casted.
Oh, this Fire Giant's getting shredded apart. Lost Souls managed to get the Kraken coming in late, but it doesn't matter. They managed to get it anyways. Swearaholic and Husky looking for anyone nearby as Raptor gets caught. Hasn't used the Bees or Aegis yet. He's going to use the ult to get away instead. Not risking giving up the relics in this situation. And the tier 2 tower on the right side being pinged out. That is the call for Lost Souls. They say, we've got everything else down. Let's go ahead, get this side pushed up. Maybe waves will push with us. And it's kind of interesting that we aren't seeing Twiraholic being told to go to the mid lane, push up these waves to the Phoenix line so that we can push up this right side a lot easier. In the meantime, Husky, though, he's gone to that back end, found Aurora. This tier 2 is going to go down for free, and that Runic Bomb still in Logic's hands.
Yeah, they want to get aggressive here. They want to use this enhanced Fire Giants. They don't have to worry about protections anymore on these towers and Phoenixes. This Logic is a great jump in. No knockup, but that's fine. And here they go. This is going to be a nice 5v5 here as Lonicus does look for an ult in. This could be a scary time for Shinigami if they can't follow it up.
They're trying to follow it up in a nice knockup. Sakura gets pulled back in by Twiraholic. The kill goes to the jungler as well, but a nice ult from Aurora. I'm surprised I didn't see Raptor go in there because that would have been huge. Instead, Lonicus getting shredded apart. Twiraholic gets a double kill. Raptor still not making the decision to go in, is forgetting it. Takes Aurora out of the picture. The Phoenix falls. And now the Titan room wide open. The jungler's just now getting back into the fountain, and it's going to be the mid, the jungler fighting all 5 members of Lost Souls. They're getting some damage in, but it's not enough to take anyone down. Trying to time these bombs is know-how, but with the frenzy being popped, the Titan's getting shredded apart. Raptor being forced away. Logic's falling low, but will he fall? No, he doesn't. The Titan goes first in game 1, goes to Lost Souls.
Yeah, I mean, I think right there in that defense, Raptor just has to find a way in. You're standing there on the side. You have to find an ultimate in there for that defense. And I understand he was zoned out a little bit, but if you can find any way into that fight, it is going to go a long way. Unfortunately, is not able to. And UW Lost Souls closes it out there in game number 1. And really and truly, this is a really good game by the Zoots. I mean, a lot of the times in these games, Season 10, we don't get to see the carries actually get a chance to, like, kind of carry the game and be the pop-off person, but was able to do that here on the Ishtar. And shoutouts to Logic for almost the perfect support line. Did end up picking up 1 kill, but went 1-0-11 on the Bacchus. Has to feel pretty good.
Definitely does. And you mentioned Raptor needing to find opportunity. I think there were a couple opportunities. Ionikis' ult and then Aurora's ult. I feel like those were both times where Raptors, like, one of those is where you have to send it in. You can't just keep holding it. You got to be willing and able to go, I got to pull the trigger here, give my team an opportunity to follow up. Unfortunately, never did, so they just fell one by one. And here we are, game 1, going the way of Lost Souls. We're going to go ahead, take a quick break as we get set up for game number 2 to see if Shinigami can bring this to a game 3, or will Lost Souls close it out.
Oop, wrong thing, chat. Chat, how's everybody doing? What's everybody up to? By the way, if you send in casts, I will make sure they get posted to YouTube. They will be up tomorrow evening or sometime during the day tomorrow. I have the cast from last night to post to YouTube, and then tonight's cast will also go on YouTube. So if you miss anything or you want to go back and watch anything, if you're trying to VOD with your team, those will be posted tomorrow on YouTube. You can also check the VOD here on Twitch as well. But either way, if you want to go follow those on socials, you can go to the link tree. Everything is there. You can go find the Up Your Experience podcast and the Battleground of the Gods, a Smite podcast as well. You can find everything there that you could possibly want that is content that I help produce. So make sure to go check that out. We just got done with game number 1 of UW Lost Souls versus UW Shinigami. We'll be heading into game number 2 momentarily. But with that being said, I do want to apologize. We were not able to do the NECC Albion Giants cast tonight of ECA Marshall versus ASU Gold due to some technical difficulties and the replays not working. I do want to apologize for that. I did not check them myself like I normally do because I was rushing to get stream started from being behind tonight. But I will make sure in the future that that gets done. If you ever want to send in a cast, please check it first. I'll make sure to check it myself as well. But always happy to cast these games. You can reach out anytime. You can reach out to me on Twitter or in Discord. All I need is match IDs. Like, as long as the games were spectated, I just need match IDs. You can send them my way. And as long as I can make it happen, I will. I will let y'all know this Wednesday I will not be able to cast any games. So if you play something on Monday or Tuesday, and you're like, man, I wonder if Blaze can cast on Wednesday. I cannot. I have a track meet. I will not be able to do it. But the rest of the week I do have pretty available. We will be recording episode 100 of the Up Your Experience podcast next weekend, maybe sometime late next week. So that might impact some availability, but y'all can always reach out, and I will do my best to help get your games casted if production can't cover it for the league that you're in. But I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. I spent today chilling with the boys, pricing some stuff for fencing materials, and then reorganizing my desk and office so I can get my boom arm back up without drilling a hole in my desk. That way I could put up the new mic. Shout out to the BotG patrons for supplying me with a new mic and XLR. Whatchamacallit? Yep, that's right. XLR cord, and words are escaping me.
I'm back, and I feel better.
Welcome back. I am still here. Fun fact, I did check game 2. It didn't work either of the other set. Just out of curiosity, because I was like, oh, I'll go back and watch game 2 later, and it didn't work either.
I thought you were about to say
No.
I was about to say, excuse me?
No, I would be sad. No, I did go check. No, I checked the other set just out of curiosity, and I was like, oh, let me go look, and sadly, did not work.
You were about to have me
go on a tangent,
questioning things.
A tirade, some would say.
No, I would have many questions.
I would too, to be fair, but no, I went to I was just curious, like, did either of them work? And they didn't, and I was like, oh, okay, well, sad times.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Are you ready to hop into game numero 2?
I am.
All right, let's do it. Maybe I'll get lucky like I did the other day where the teams are on the same side and I don't have to mess with spectator stuff. Oh my god, let's go! 2 casts in a row, and all I have to do is update the score line, baby. That is sick. All right.
You know what would be even crazier is if it ends up being the same exact picks, bans, and comps.
Oh my god, that would be wild.
It would almost be like you possibly restarted the same replay.
That would be funny.
Because look, even the bans are starting the same. Soul,
no,
Alquan.
Don't do this to me.
Oh, look at that! It's Freya.
Oh my god, don't do this to me. Oh god,
there's the difference. Oleron was 3rd last time.
Okay. There's Thor though.
Yep, same exact for that.
Oh, there's the Ishtar, then. Okay,
There's
so
something different. There we go. It's not the same game. And picks and bans going typical way. Unsurprisingly, the immediate no hesitation lock in for Surtur, like they got exactly what they wanted. Again, we're going to see how Shinigami reacts in their first two picks.
I do have to say, I do think Husky played this Surtur well. I haven't got to see him in a cast yet, but I do think Surtur was played pretty well in that first game. Oh.
Honestly, he was. I think he died, one time?
Something like that.
All of that. And which is really good for any solo, because usually when there's a high-pressure solo laner, you got to deal with early ganks, constantly having stuff put against you just to try and keep you down. That didn't really happen that last game, so it may change up this game, especially seeing Aklina come in. Especially this is a guy that can be played jungle solo or in the mid lane very well. And the Ganesh, that I feel like is going to make a big difference in this game.
I like this. I mean, you have silences for days, but Dharmic Pillars, along with Tearing the Veil, I just feel like just work so well together here. That this is a very different comp than what we saw from last time of UW's Shinigami. I think this is going to allow them just a better team fight overall, and we saw them fight pretty well into a golden XP deficit last game. So with this comp, we'll have to see how it goes. I do like Ganesha. I don't know that Ganesha is a top support right now, but I can tell you this. Every time I play against that god, it pops off. So I'm expecting some good things out of the Ganesha. I think last night when I was casting, I saw a Ganesha steal Fire Giant.
That's a very possible thing. Dharmic Pillars are very, very good at securing objectives.
Yes, they are.
I think a lot of people underestimate the tick damage that those do and the rate that they tick. And, you said you play a lot of... When you play against Ganeshas, they do very well. There's a few different reasons why that could be. Ganesha may be good, better than people think. Maybe it's just good against when you play. You never know what it could end up being. And we'll have to see in this game which one of those it is. Is it, God's good, is well put. This may make things a little more difficult for the Ganesh picked up by Shinigami. You've got Willix being brought back in and Sylvanas being locked in this time, and that can make things a little harder on a Ganesh support because that pull has some distance on it, and that means if you're trying to own somebody, well, you may get pulled out of it, or the person you're trying to save may get pulled away from you, and not much you can do at that point.
Yeah, I like Sylvanas. I think Sylvanas is really, really good right now. You get the healing, you get the pull, you get the knock-up, which a Wheelish is really going to like. You already have 2 knock-ups on your team, and you're only the first part of the draft in. And Narwhallahby had some pretty good pulls last game. A lot of them were focused on the support. I wonder if that changes this time around with it being a Ganesha. But it looks like Guan Yu is going to be locked in here for UW Lost Souls, and that's going to be some good healing on their side too now. I really like the difference in comp here for UW Shinigami. I think Guan Yu in the solo is just going to feel much better in this Surtur than what we saw with the Tsukiyomi. I think Klina is just a good pick in the jungle right now. There's a lot of walls to hide in. It's just a much more expansive map. We're going to have to see how this goes as Baba Yaga is banned away again, along with the Jingwei and Agni. I really want to understand the Jingwei ban. I need someone to let me know why. But there's also the respect ban on this Poseidon. Forget Nick will not be able to play that again, as Yu Huang is going to be locked in for Napa Know-How. And Yu Huang is probably the safest mid laner to play right now in most situations.
Definitely. He's got immunity, goes up into the air, comes back down. And if you have his passive online, that coming down, someone's waiting for you down there. Well, if they just get knocked up, take a little bit of damage. But I feel like the Jingwei ban is just to prevent Shinigami from having a good late game and super safe carry. Just because the ult and the dash that the Jingwei does have.
Yeah.
Plus, if you play safe, or passive then lets you fly halfway across the lane before, that is much faster than walking. So I do think in terms of ADC bans, it's not a bad one for the second phase in terms of just making sure they don't have something super safe. Especially if you're going to pick a mid laner like Vulcan.
Yeah.
That kind of situation, that's a free get out of jail card, and Jingwei being taken away. They won't have that as easily. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult, especially when you've got Surtur, Wilkes, and Sylvanas. They've got some pretty good setup for that ult.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's the plan for carry here for UW Shinigami. Like, what's the plan? Because you have this great AOE ultimate for Ganesha. And then you have pretty good lockdown from Yu Huang and the Guan Yu. So it's really... You think it's Cernanos?
They picked it last time.
I don't think it's Cernanos.
I feel like that's just what they're going to go back to. Because a similar situation, all these good hunters are taken. Ishtar's not on the board anymore.
Rama. Okay. Well, I tried to will it into existence.
I was gonna say, if you're going to pick Ram here, why wouldn't you have picked it the last game?
I don't know, man.
Especially going against an Ishtar the last game. I feel like if Rama's in your god pool, that's the game to do it.
It's going to be the Chernobog here, and I like Cherno. I think Cherno provides a lot of different avenues to play. You can get aggressive in other lanes and use it for ganks. You can have some pretty good lockdown with this Ganesha that you can play off of. We'll have to see if that's the way it pans out here for Aurora this game. But let's head into game number 2 with one spicy meatball, since there's a Vulcan.
Oh, and it is Chef Vulcan, so that is going to be a very spicy meatball coming into this game. I feel like for that skin, the ability should be renamed to Spicy Meatball.
Yeah. I'd be about it. I would sign that petition.
Yeah, we need to get in contact with Hyros. Be like, hey guys, can you make an adjustment to one of the skins? They're like, yeah, what's that? Chef Vulcan. Rename his third ability to Spicy Meatball. Think that would be much appreciated. That's what they should do. Any chef skin, rename all the abilities to something related food-wise for that skin.
It's this flavor text. I'm about it, honestly. Like, sign me up.
Like, think about Hood and Bots.
Yeah.
His overhead smash, his overhead bread slam.
It's just overhead baguette, dude.
Overhead baguette, yeah. He's throwing out the monkey. Assistant chef teleport.
Oh my goodness, sous chef, dude. It's the sous
Sous
chef.
chef?
Yeah. Dude, don't get me started on this. I could probably do this for days. I'd send
Chef
a whole
Vulcan
list to
turret becomes
Hyros.
the grinder.
Yeah.
Knockback is flavor blast.
Oh my god, bro.
What was it? What would his ultimate be? Is it the pizza?
It's food fight. That has to be what it is, right? Maybe, I don't know.
But what? Like it's in a specific food that like lands as the ult.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Is it a meatball with spaghetti, or is it a pizza?
I think. I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen it.
You got to call his ult pizza time.
Yeah, 100%. There's no other way. I have many thoughts now.
Yeah.
Like, I want a Jing Chin chef skin.
I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't.
You know what? You know what skin?
I don't feel like he would make use of a chef skin.
He's a giant oven.
Right. So why be a chef?
I don't know, man. I've had
Just make him an oven.
I've had a Jing Chin skin idea for the past several years that I think he should get a summer skin where his axe is made of pool noodles. And same thing with his shield. Like, his shield is just like a giant inner tube, and his axe is pool noodles. And that's all I got. But I like the idea.
Oh, that's all you got?
Yep. You're welcome.
That's it?
Yep.
That doesn't...
No, I know. It doesn't add up to anything, but that's just what I'd like to see.
I mean, well, does his body need to become like a Raging Rivers type thing?
Sure. Yeah, there's a whole avenue of things to work with at that point, right? I'm just throwing out there that it'd be cool.
Not really. If I'm honest, there's not a lot to work with.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. He could be quicksand. Look, man, I don't know. I just like the Yeah, he could be sand, right? It's a summer skin. He could be
Cool
sand.
Noodles in an inner tube, and you're going to make him quicksand.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, giving some ideas. He could be water, but that's basic.
All right, Blaze has gone off the deep end with these skin ideas. Now we're going to go ahead and get back into focus on the game before we end up in a real bad situation as we see Lost Souls yet again doing that triple camp pull that you are not a fan of anymore.
Yeah, you know, because green buff does heal the other camps. Just throwing it out there. It does do that. And then your support ends up like half health like this.
The worst part is, a lot of the time, you're not doing what you should be doing and taking the green buff down first.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's kind of, that is the biggest problem. And I think that's what a lot of players actually need to get used to doing, is focusing on taking down that green buff first, because that allows your support to heal while being attacked. And I feel like a lot of people have forgotten that the green buff does that now.
Yep.
It's not what it used to be. It heals. It has HP 5 in it. It's a huge deal for your support to pick that up right away. Because now this situation where Zakor is still half health, having to use a pot, and is back under the tier 1 tower, he may have been able to go aggressive there while Logic was trying to heal. So these are things that very well impact the game.
What's this? It's a little battle at the speed buff?
Narwhallaholic said, Raptor, you can try and farm. I'm going to try and steal it away. Doesn't look like they're very successful. Raptor, though, took a lot of damage from that little poke battle from Narwhallaholic, who's fighting themselves down in XP. So Narwhallaholic needs to get moving along there, because if Raptor keeps getting further and further ahead, it's not going to be a good look. As a nice feather step, avoiding damage from Nappa. A nice meatball there to knock him up and back. It's too spicy for the Yu Huang at the moment, who oddly enough throws fire, so you wouldn't think there's anything spicy for him.
Well, and the one thing I was going to point out is there was a different in start here for Shinigami this time. They didn't have Raptor start the duo side speed buff and then all run over here to the duo side to try to get a gank. They learned their lesson from last time. It didn't pan out well, so they decided, hey, this time we're gonna do a little bit differently. We're gonna farm a little bit safer. Narwhallaholic does try to punish that, but wasn't able to be successful. And now,
Loud noises,
like an invite or something. I don't know what that was about, but Narwhallaholic hovering the duo lane.
Very surprised Narwhallaholic did not go in. There's no ward, but it's like they hesitate. Well, now they're deciding to go in. The blink comes in after getting Suku the dash from Aurora, though. Knock up, forcing the beats in the air. Doesn't do you a whole lot of good up there. But they're not able to have enough damage early on to finish off the Journal Bog. And look who's here. It's Raptor in the wall. Trying to get a little bit of damage on Narwhallaholic, who's keeping distance very wisely to not take too much, because Sklina does have Bluestone Pendant. Whereas we just have the Eye of the Jungle for Narwhallaholic. Raptor still wants to force this fight. Twirl is trying to dance around these walls the best they can, but just the range and damage that Raptor has right now, it's unavoidable if you're not in the right spot.
This is just such an interesting time with the junglers, because I feel like in jungle right now, it's like, okay, I want to farm, and then I want to go gank. But then they're just fighting each other in the jungle, and both teams are just letting it happen. They're like, yo, you guys want a 1v1? You guys keep it over there while we fight in our lanes and get our farm. Just leave us alone. And shout outs to the teams for respecting the 1v1. You know, it's really hard to find that in Smite from time to time.
I mean, you say that, but do you want to win or not?
I mean, I do want to win.
If you're down 1-0, if you're Shinigami, you should be... if you have a free kill, I mean, you probably need to take it in the early game.
100%. I don't know if it would have been free, though. Like, do you think if they rotate in there, they just get Narwhallaholic? I don't know.
I think, depending on... Know-how's positioning there, he may have actually been able to rotate through the backside of his jungle pretty freely. I don't think Nick would have had to know that he's going there if he goes from far enough back. Also, just depends on where they were on the map at the time. The other thing is obviously your support can rotate off, because you got to think about the positioning that the dual lanes had, right? Lost Souls, they had pushed up and then they had to back off. Shinigami's dual lane were under the tier 1 tower. And where Narwhallaholic was fighting, it's not that hard of a rotation for Zakor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if Zakor is level 5, I 100% agree. Because that Dharmic Pillars is going to do work. It was just the fact that Aurora was level 5, but Zakor was still trying to get that farm to hit level 5 themselves. I don't know. We'll have to see. Right now, 0-0. Much slower start here to game number 2 than we had in game number 1. This Bluestone Pendant still being built by junglers.
Yep.
Because it's kind of good. I am kind of curious to see in 10.3, are we going to see some adjustments to Bluestone specifically towards jungle camps? Because I think that could be a way to deal with this item a little bit and keeping it out of the jungle. Or are they okay and think it's as healthy for the game? I don't think it's as oppressive with the nerf that came through to the assassin class. It's passive, but it's still being built, so we'll just have to see.
It is still being built, but I also think it depends on what you're going for later in the game, because the 2 Bluestone Pendant ones can be, Bluestone Pendant early can be nice, but later on, honestly, like Deer of the Jungle, Spear of the Jungle, those actually feel a lot better than those upgrade items do half the time, because, you're fighting in the jungle, you get a huge boost. Whereas, Brooch, it's kind of like Soul Reaver, the other one, is based off certain crotch shred, essentially, so it's a little hard to say. Oh, all right, Husky trying to get that first blood is definitely working for Ionicus, making him work for it. It will not be a trade. Husky's gonna have to be careful, because if anyone recognizes how low he is, that is a kill in return, but he's gonna clear the wave, and it looks like no one will be trying to get the return kill, so he should have a free back here shortly. You see Narwhllaby working through the jungle, just trying to get all these harpies down, working real hard at it, getting half health. And really, this is a much slower game than last time. 3 minutes, there was already 2 kills. We're 7 minutes in, and there's been 1 kill. Lost Souls, yet again, find themselves up 1k.
Yeah, I mean, and that's literally the gold difference, right? It's just the first blood in, like, maybe a camp. Like, it's not drastic in any capacity, but just a little bit slower going here, as I realized the order for some reason got swapped up again. So let me fix that for everybody. There we go.
Anything. We see Shinigami in mid lane trying to do something to logic, but that healing too good right now. Know-how just hard set on this Tablet of Destiny build.
Let it go.
It didn't go so well the last game.
So
I can't. I just.
We've talked about Tablet.
You know how I feel about this item.
Yeah, and I feel
even
a
when people
way.
thought it was broken.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing, right? It's a dangerous time to build Tablet and have your game cast, because we know if you're hitting abilities. Oh, what a pull by Logic. He's hitting abilities. And now Zakor getting aggressive with Raptor.
Yeah, unfortunately for Logic, good pull, but they just don't quite have damage. Nick's only got 36 stacks on the Book of Thoth. It's still too early for anyone to be falling just from one pull like that when they're full health, especially if it's just your mid laner at the moment. Yes, it's Vulcan. Yes, he can do quite a bit of damage, but unfortunately, if Book of Thoth was stacked, different story. I mean, we're 8.5 minutes in, slower game. It's not going to be stacked that quickly.
Yep, I agree. And what I was saying earlier is, like, this Tablet of Destinies, we know how many abilities you hit. And I think that to me is enough to dissuade me from buying it, to be completely honest. Because I don't want to be the guy that is, I don't know, 20 minutes in the game, and I have, like, 10 stacks. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we saw that not too long ago. There was a Scylla built Tablet of Destinies when it was considered quote-unquote broken, even though it never really was. And we were 20-some minutes in the game with only stacks on.
Ooh, Husky getting aggressive here again. Now it's a 2v2. Raptor in trouble.
That is big trouble. Narwhallaby getting some good damage, using the ult to get that extra attack speed in there, guaranteeing that kill will happen. Ionicus not able to do much about it. This is that dangerous spot. Ionicus has fallen, Raptor's fallen. Now Narwhallaby has a lead. Husky is 2-0 on the Surtur, which means that is gold stacking even further. You have Logic up by a level. The mid laners, ADCs, solos are a little bit even on XP, but these little advantages, they're going to start stacking up. Now, granted, last game, it was the same thing early on. You know, they were ahead 2K, whatnot. But this game is much slower, which makes these small leads that are gaining that much more dangerous.
Yeah, the impact here is huge. And really, right now, it's in the solo lane. And the one thing that gets scary is if the solo gets ahead and they have a gold lead and they can start rotating to mid or rotating these Gold Fury fights, that's scary for the enemy team because they have an extra tank there. They have another person that can go in and afford to be in these fights. And if I'm looking at UW Lost Souls right now, I'm like, man, I need to figure out how to deal with this Surtur because he's going to meteor in on top of my team. And that's not going to be a good time for them while I'm over here trying to get my farm on. So that's going to have to be dealt with pretty soon. I mean, we talked about it last game that if you can't do anything in duo, maybe you go and do something over in the solo lane. Raptor tried there, and it was unsuccessful, unfortunately. I think at this point, maybe you leave Lonicus to the devices of trying to do something, and you either decide, hey, I'm focusing duo, or we have to commit 3 people to killing the Surtur. I mean, it's one or the other. I don't think you can do both. You have to make a decision.
You definitely do, and we do see Pyromancer get done there by Lost Souls, increasing their lead a little bit more. The Runic Bomb, surprisingly enough, is picked up by Nick. So if he gets pressure in that mid lane at all, and know-how backs, and no one's there, that tower is guaranteed going to fall, as we see Raptor trying to guarantee Narwhallabby fall. He's going to hop on Suku there to guarantee that he's got to way out quickly, just in case his Logic. It's a bit of aggressive pathing going towards the enemy side. Raptor's showing face there, and Zakor showing face as well. So Logic's like, no, okay, fine, I'll go this way. I'll respect the fact that you may have 3 here. Know-how is looking to come back over this way to Logic, but unfortunately he's doing that in front of Nick. Sets turret down and takes all the attention from Know-how onto himself, and just look at that damage too.
Well, I think Logic was expecting Narwhallaby to come in there and make a pull, and just a little bit of miscommunication there with the ult and get the pull off of it. So a little bit unfortunate there. I think they were expecting to try to get a pick, and it just didn't happen here.
Please, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
What is Tablet of Destiny's passive based off of?
Mana.
What is Know-how not actively building?
Mana.
He's going into a tier 2 pen item, not the essential Book of Thought that makes the item work.
Don't worry. You know what that item is going to be? Divine. And that's going to make it okay.
No, it's not. You have to build Book of Thought if you're going to build Tablet of Destinies, or you are not taking advantage of the passive whatsoever. And unfortunately, Know-how, if this is picked up by Lost Souls, he just said, I'm willingly giving up damage. And now Aurora, oh no, this is a very bad spot to be in. Dark Pillars comes out to try and help the good dash away. Oh, the Aegis, good usage as well. Raptor from behind. Aurora getting out, no one able to lock down the Chernobog. And now with Know-how showing up, Narwhallaby's going to take a little bit of damage. Get CC'd, but Raptor, unfortunately, Graham Husky's there, going to get the kill, finding themselves 3-0-0 on the Surtur. And now Lost Souls getting the pick they were looking for, is saying, we're getting out, going back to the lanes, because the only objective up is the Fire Giant.
I mean, what a great little grouping there by UW Lost Souls. I mean, obviously, Zakor tries to make a difference there. He is able to get the ADC out there. Aurora, it does live to see another day. Unfortunately, Raptor had to take a spill. But I really like the fact that, like, hey, Chernobog's up. We're done chasing. We're just going to stand here until he comes down. You see too many teams that they know Chernobog has to come down to them, but one of them will split. And, then it ends up being Chernobog gets away because they go to the one that split off. So, did like the fact that UW's Lost Souls communication there was just literally stand still. Not die to the Dharmic Pillars, also a big plus. But it just shows their communication's on point right now. They are definitely going with the momentum that they've had this game. Now having almost a 2,500, 2,800 gold lead. not drastically different than what they had earlier, but still moving slowly but surely forward. And with this game being slower, we've talked about how that being just much more impactful. As Lonicus tries to make a play here, and I think might have to pay for it.
Farming Close is used, so is the cavalry charge. Lonicus is going to get out. Husky goes up, comes down, landing on Zakor, forcing the immunity out of know-how. Raptor coming from behind, trying to help the support. But unfortunately, Narwhallahawk is here as well. It's 2v3, going to be a 2v4 in a second, but a beautiful ult. Narwhallahawk gets Raptor back in, takes him out 0-3 on the clean in the jungle, 1-0-2 on the Willix. And they're going back to the Pyromancer, saying we've got enough of advantage with this. Yonikis, though, does not want to let this go, but Husky's there, says, I'm still here, respect it. Lost Souls will get the Pyromancer, and this time it'll go on to Logic. 2 runic bombs in hand for the team. Zeus soloing Aurora down, and that's Chiron. If you don't have anti-heal, he's got good self-healing. He's got the Aussie, a fully stacked Transcendence with Bluestone, and unfortunately, Chernobog's not always able to outbox that, especially with no stacks on Rage.
You know what I was thinking about today? Is the fact that the one thing I liked about Ichaival, which no longer exists, because it's the passive for Toxic Blade, and I'm not going to go much further into that, is the fact that if an ability-based hunter, or just a hunter in general, was rushing Transcendence, and I felt behind, that Ichaival felt pretty good to build into Transcendence. And that's not an option anymore. So if you're this Chernobog...
Are you saying rush Toxic Blade?
I'm not, because Toxic Blade is bad. But if it was Ichaival with power, you could change my mind, is what I'm saying.
I'm hearing that you should build Toxic Blade to get that Ichaival pass.
Nah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I thought about it today in a casual.
You thought about it?
Yeah, because I watched it last night in a set that they got far enough ahead that the carry built Toxic Blade, and I was like, I kind of want to know. But I don't want to know that bad. Because that item just can't be good on hunters. But I do miss the idea of like being able to use Ichaival as a way to play into a Transcendence Hunter if I feel a little bit behind. Because that no longer exists. As Narwhallahawk puts down Raptor again.
Yeah,
holy.
Speaking of being behind, that is 3-level difference. Unfortunately for Narwhallahawk, that Suku Leap's not going to be enough to keep themselves alive. Yonikis will trade out the kill in the end, but that's still a 2-level difference, 15-13 in the jungle. And Husky wanting to chase down whoever he can. Unfortunately, not going to be able to find anything. And Yonikis, is that going to be a Pestilence instead of Contagion for anti-heal?
Maybe. We'll have to see. I don't know.
That's interesting because we do not see Pestilence like ever.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it could go into Heart Ward. That item is pretty good, but we'll have to see how that ends up panning out. I'm not sure that it's going to be a Pestilence. I do think if it's a Heart Ward, then you definitely build Contagion next, because you're probably upgrading into Stronghold, if I had to guess. But I'm not 100% sure what we're going to see here, just because Pestilence would be good. I just think Contagion is a better item most of the time. Raptor looks to try to steal it away. Can they get the steal? No. Lost Souls. Secure it.
Dharmic Pillar's a little off the mark on the placement. Oh, Husky wants to take Raptor out of the picture. Dash further away isn't going to allow it, but he turns onto the rest of the team. Zakor takes a nice minion to the face to get stunned. Know-how forced into the immunity. Dude's just trying to poke away at whoever he could find. In the back end, though, it's Yonikis. Finds Logic, who says, oh, you're going to take a seat real quick, but he goes into the ult, finds his way out. And Suits trying to find a little bit of poke. Oh, that Panther hits. That's a knock. If Yonikis would not have actually been coming back, but manages to get out. And Lost Souls doing a much better job of securing their objectives and not freely letting Aurora control one side of the map.
Yeah, no split push this time for Aurora. You know, at this point in the game, last game, it was able to split push down a tier 1 and a tier 2. So they're controlling that a bit better this time around. But Chernobog does have a better opportunity to split push and then be able to make it into the fight, so we have to see if that is going to be an option for Aurora going forward, as the Pyromancer is being danced around here.
Are they going to triple stack runic bombs?
They might.
They haven't used a single one yet.
Look,
I feel like eventually they're going to have 5 just sitting in their inventories.
if you want to take down an objective, that's a good way to do it, whether it be Fire Giant or a Phoenix or whatever it may be. 5 of those is going to go kind of hard, and now Leonicus in trouble here as the pull is good by Twirlholic, but is it good enough to get a kill as the Dark Pillars come through? Could not save the life of Leonicus. Twirlholic does finish off the kill, and a Pyromancer will fall to Lost Souls.
Yeah, Husky went aggressive there on the 3. Aurora, yet again, doing the split push thing, gets the tier 1 down, is probably looking for the tier 2, but has been told to back. They don't see the rest of the team. And yep, it's going to be Husky picking up that other runic bomb. Maybe Husky goes straight over to Soul Lane, clears a wave, puts down that runic bomb, gets a free tower. That would leave only 3 tier 2s left standing. And this time we do see Lost Souls 4 stacked over on the left-hand side. They wanted to make sure Aurora is not going any further. The tier 1 tower falling under attack. 2 minions shouldn't be under threat of falling. As long as anyone reacts to it, and that's going to happen as Shinigami. They're going to stack towards this right side. You have control of vision on the Fire Giant and make sure Husky's not pushing up any further. Husky does need to be careful. Half health, so we are going to see Leonicus trying to take advantage of that in a simple fight. And one thing I'm actually surprised about is that Husky doesn't have any anti-heal in his kit, like in his build at all, going up against the Guan Yu.
Yeah, I have a feeling it has to be a last item contagion, right? I mean, it just has to be. There's no shot.
That is a very late decision.
I mean, yeah, is it? Of course. But, like, it has to be, right? Like, you can't just not build anti-heal.
We don't skip anti-heal like his entire team has so far.
Yeah, I mean, like, surely that there's going to be a divine from this Vulcan, and maybe the is Sylvanas building contagion? I don't know anymore, man. Like,
so
still abiding.
Aurora is back to split pushing.
Yep.
Mid-tier 1 has fallen. Mm-hmm. They are going very aggressively. Darmic Pillars is out. Spore finding himself in a lot of trouble. Raptor from the wall trying to use the ults, not finding as much damage as he's hoping. Husky goes up in the ult, crashes back onto Raptor for the kill with the knockoff from Logic in the ultimate. Comes the ult. It is not good for the kills. The core manages to dodge that, but Aurora has back without taking the
no way.
Tower. Comes in with the ult, and Twirlhog says, "Get we don't allow that one for free," but forces the beat instead, finding his way out. And you know what that means for Lost Souls? Fire Giant opportunity. They're gonna start it up. In comes Leonicus trying to find Forget Nick, who's all alone at the moment. Nice little stun from Husky, though. Twirlholic says, "Hey, come here." The ult, though, to get out. And that's kind of been the story for the solo laner of Shinigami, is that ultimate has been used more defensively to get out than it has to go in. And as more have showed up, Lost Souls said, "Drop the Fire Giant, start the fight." Twirlholic's in trouble, though. And the dance around allows Husky to come in from behind. This is not looking good for Shinigami. They're way too split up.
Yeah, split up. Darmic Pillars is used, and now Husky said, "Nah, you're coming back here. I'm sending you to the gray screen if it's up to me." Couldn't finish off the kill. Zoots picks up a roar, and now on the backside, Logic and Forget Nick are low, but Forget Nick finishes off the kill. Nappa Know-How turns it around with a double, and Zoots is running down Nappa Know-How.
Nappa should fall here, Will. That's a double kill for the ADC of Lost Souls. And the knockup, Zakor gets pulled in. Leonicus is the bigger threat, but Twirlhawk will get Zakor. 1 HP in a dream. No, sir, no, sir. Husky takes him down. The deicide comes in, but Zoots and Twirlhawk are too low to be able to do this Fire Giant, so they're all going to have to back heal up. And if they really want to do it, then they can come back. But Raptor will be up and Blaze. Forget Nick. Stop Raptor flat. That was 75% health from that ult.
That was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, just a really, really good play there to really kind of save the game from getting just blown absolutely wide open with that kill. But the one thing, we talked about this Surtur early on, and that was played well last game. Husky is 5-0-4 right now, but along with that, Zoots has went undying on this Chiron. UW Lost Souls looking pretty good this game. Looking a little bit more definitive this time around. And a lot better about securing their objectives and playing these fights to make sure they're not losing a lot on the back ends. But now a 5v5 breaks out.
Warlhawk having him be careful all alone. Surrounded by the enemy, manages to get out. Husky's going to go in on the Raptor, though, who's out of the walls finally. And there's a lot of damage being returned, though, but the ult coming in. It doesn't find its target. No damage coming through. Aegis was forced from Raptor. Nick will not find any kill. 4 ultimates used from the side of Lost Souls. Warlhawk still the only one with theirs, but will need to back and heal up. And Know-How has their ult. And if this Fire Giant is going to be committed to, it's very risky. Instead, they're going to say, no, we aren't able to do it anymore. We want Husky here for the zoning. But I think Husky's learned he's not tanky enough to fight all 5 on his own, so going to have to rely on his team a little bit more.
So, 4 runic bombs.
Yep.
Wonder what they're gonna do with those. They're just kind of stockpiling them up, man.
I'm hoping that they're going to use them to try to end the game.
I mean, that's what I want to think. Like, surely they don't use it on a fire giant, right? They wait and just
maybe one.
Maybe
one.
But they definitely save 3 of them for Phoenixes, right? Yeah.
Or tier 2 towers that are heavily contested. Yeah, something like that.
Or
certainly.
Hear me out.
No way are all 4 going to be dropped on the Fire Giant and completely wasted.
Or hear me out. All 4 on the Titan.
Well, they got to get to that point first.
Yeah.
And there's 4 towers standing.
I just think that could be fun. I wonder how fast Titan would die.
I'm all for it. But I want to see some like definitive action that causes the towers to fall first.
Yeah.
Shinigami has had 4 towers for a long time now. Whereas Aurora has been chipping away at Lost Souls towers. They're about to only have 2 towers standing again, just like the last game.
Yeah, I don't think Lost Souls likes their towers a lot. It's kind of what I've gathered from the last 2 games. They're like, towers schmowers, as long as the Phoenixes are up, it's fine. We care about fighting over objectives. But at this point, like, Lost Souls has to kind of figure out, hey, we need a pick and we need this Fire Giant. Like, we need to be able to strip the towers away, which is what happened last game. The good news is that the tier 1 that they have standing this game is in the right side rather than in mid lane, because that caused them a little bit of a hassle. But look where Aurora's at. Aurora's back over there in duo. Gonna go ahead and take down this tier 2 finally. And Aurora can make it to any team fight. The Chernobog has that capability to rotate anywhere on the map as needed.
Here we go for the Phoenix.
And Aurora... No one's there. No one's there, and there's a full wave. So now you have to make this decision. Do you let this go, which is going to happen, and you decide to pull fire, which is now low, but Shinigami's here, and they're going to fight over it.
Armoring Pillage is on it, but Lost Souls managed to secure it. That's the Fire Giant going their way. They do lose the left-hand Phoenix in return, however, and they aren't trying to chase down the other members. Shinigami say, get out. Lost Souls say, don't chase. And yeah, you got Fire Giant. It's not enhanced, and you just gave up a Phoenix. Now your Titan's under threat. Husky has to stay behind for even longer now. Sure, you're going to go for the tier 1 and right. Warhawk looks like they are trying to split push mid, but they need to get a lot of value out of this Fire Giant to make giving up a Phoenix worth it.
Yeah, I mean, what a risky play.
Oh, there's a runic bomb.
Yep, there's one of them. 3 more to go. And Husky will push up this left side, dealing with these fire waves, but Aurora, again, just, doing the split push job there. I am surprised that if you're not going to ult in, you don't stave and just at least poke the Titan a little bit to make them question this push. Good bees there by Aurora.
The surprising thing here is this is a 4v4. Raptor has not rotated all the way across it. They're still in mid. Now it's a 5v4 because Husky's pushed up. It's not comfortable enough to teleport in. Now Ionicus is in trouble. In comes the ult. It's going to hit. Not going to take Ionicus out, but Husky is full diving with the ult. Will secure the kill onto Ionicus and now has 3 surrounding him. Is going to the Phoenix line. Has to be careful and is going to get deleted. Raptor getting the kill there. The tier 2 tower will fall. But now someone else will have to back to deal with fire minions on the left side because that wave is going down. It's going to push further up. They say they want that tier 2 elsewhere. Instead, though, Pyromancer coming up. They've decided, get away from the tower, come back for this.
The question is, who's backing, man? Because this is happening. Whether they like it or not, someone has to do with these left side fire minions that are now just going to pour into the base. Looks like multiple people are going to back. They want to go ahead and buy some items. But I'm a little bit concerned about the priority they're putting on this left side. Or lack thereof, I guess I should say. Because this has been pushed down. This has been split pushed down over and over again. The Fireway's finally pushed in a little bit. And, you know, Shinigami could make a play there at some point. If they get a pick or two, that left side being open is a great avenue to put a lot of pressure on that Titan, per se. But now, Lost Souls are going to push up this left side. They want to get the tier 2 over here. Hopefully a Phoenix, if it's up to them. They do have 4 runic bombs again. They have gotten every Pyromancer thus far in the first 30 minutes of the game. And we'll have to see, are they going to be able to make it happen? But the one thing we do need to talk about is, yet again, this Surtur has the Arch Druid's Fury. I almost called it Arch Fury's Druid, and I was like, that is not right. No anti-heal for the Surtur.
Nope. No anti-heal for them. Matter of fact, the only anti-heal so far is this Divine Ruin and Contagion on the support. Tier 2 tower and left will go down. Look. Oh my goodness. Yonakis and Aurora both are split pushing. If this is recognized, Lost Souls, it looks like they do. They're going straight into the Phoenix line. They're going after the Dark Pillars, go up, but the Phoenix falls. Raptor finally is, or not Raptor, sorry, Aurora finally joining the team. Logic looks like they're going to fall here. Is the, oh, maybe not. That meatball may have been enough to save. Never mind. Yonakis is here. Logic separating from the team. Is there any hope of taking him down? No! They're letting him go?
He gets to live?
It was so low!
Oh my goodness. There is no way that out of that Phoenix defense, they do not get a kill. Like, there's just no way. You have to. The Sylvanas had no health. I am mind-boggled that was allowed to happen. Fire Giant's back up. This time it's going to be enhanced. Both teams are here, but Shinigami is running straight for it, as if they might try to pull it first. And I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it ahead of time, but no, they're just going to get it warded up and look for maybe a steal or counter engage here. Raptor trying to get some poke out. But this is a scary time for Shinigami. I mean, this is their opportunity. If they get picked, this could be over.
I just realized something. For the first time in the last 10 minutes, no one has a runic bomb in their inventory.
Yeah, they were all used. They made sure that left side went down.
Speaking of going down, they're trying to take Yonakis out. Logic pulled him in. He has to use the ult. He's a little bit aggressive, but still defensively, but that damage on Yonakis. Husky going for the dive. Gets the kill. It's a 4v5 now. Logic getting burned down. Nick also low. Turtle Hawk's going to pull Aurora back. They're trying to find anything they can, but dash out is good for now. As in the back line, as Raptor gets taken out by Twirlaholic, and Husky pushing the other 3 members of Shinigami back, says, I need to back heal up. I've got my teleport up. Don't worry about it. Get the Fire Giant started, and Logic says, let's go. But the rest of the team not committing to it right away. They're finally going to get things started up. Zoots finally getting in there. So Shred is coming in. Zakor, though, look where they're sitting on the other side. Husky not close enough to stop him. They're just walking in. No one's paying attention. But Lost Soul still managed to secure it. Zakor, I thought for sure may have had an opportunity to steal, but didn't have the ult quite up yet. Twirlaholic will take him down. I can't believe we just watched someone walk into the Fire Giant and not steal it away for once. Husky leading the charge in the tier 2 tower. There's only 2 there. Twirlaholic is following loyally. The rest of the team says, we're nowhere near. Not even in the tier 2. Finally coming in with the wave. This tier 2 tower will fall. This is enhanced Fire Giant plays. And now they're looking to siege the mid Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, you're without the Dharmic Pillars. It's been allowing you this whole entire game to really zone and try to trade out some of these fights at least a little bit. And now you're without that. Lonakos is getting poked out. Raptor is in a wall. Does end up getting forget Nick. But are they going to be able to get more off that? This Phoenix is almost down. It's going to take maybe 2 autos from Zoots if he can step up. But as of right now, is not able to do so. Some very strange position here by Lost Souls. and they're just going to back off instead as Logic continues to get poked out, and the Onakis decides to go on Logic, but Logic, again, for the second time in a row, you're just walking away, and they will go to the Gold Fury and drop this Primal for themselves and add some more gold to their pockets, but really it's about the buff more than the gold at this point. And UW Lost Souls get the Enhanced Fire, lose one, and then they just kind of stop their push, which is a little bit surprising. The good news is for Shinigami is they are finally going to get a Pyromancer.
They do. They do finally get an objective. It is a Pyromancer. They have a Runic Bomb in hand, so if Raptor wants to be the one to split push, they do have opportunity to do so. Left-hand Phoenix has respawned. So they're going to try pushing this left-hand side up. I'm sure Lost Souls, though, are going to be pushing that left side here very, very soon. Maybe send one to mid to try and split push that. But for now, they are going to have to regroup. Oh, maybe it's going to be the other way around, maybe. No, okay, they are going to left side. I thought for sure was who's going back to everyone else was going to mid, that it was going to be a different kind of split, but looks like it's going to be Husky staying in the mid lane, and they wanted to force both of them to stay as a core. Not able to finish the back, has to run back. Know how it's going to be around the corner. Narwhllaby, though, is looking for something. Gets the pull on Zakor back in. Stops the dash with the Feather Step. Zoots takes the support out. And now you're left with a 5v4, but it's going to be a 4v3 because Husky's keeping one over in the mid lane. This Phoenix will fall immediately. And now Shinigami have to fall to the mid. And oh my goodness, the ult's coming out doing some damage. Onyx takes a little bit, but Zoots, the mastery shot will take one out. Narwhllaby takes Raptor out. In the meantime, mid Phoenix falls. It's a 2v5. This is an Enhanced Fire Giant. They are storming into the Titan room. Know-how in trouble. Gets deleted by the Feather Step. That's a double kill for Narwhllaby. Yonokis trying to do everything they can with the cavalry charge. They're gonna stun Husky, but the Titan's going down. Game number 2, and the set will go the way of Lost Souls.
Yeah, that was really just kind of clinical there by Lost Souls this time around. You know, game number 1 had a little bit of time securing some objectives. It kind of had to allowed Shinigami back in a couple times, and then finally were able to end it. This game was just a lot more precise. They got pretty much every single objective except a Primal. Now, I do agree. I don't know how they didn't lose that Fire Giant. That they just let the Ganesha walk in at it. No one zoned it away. But clinical. Zoots goes undying on the Chiron. 5-0-10. Narwhllaby 8-1-9. Just an amazing game. And, you know, Logic putting on another fantastic support game on this Sylvanas. Overall, just great play by all of them. But that's not to go without saying Nappa know-how hit some nasty abilities there on the Yu Huang. Played it really well. Zakora had some great ultimates trying to help the teammates not only get damage off, but help get some peel going. And just a good thing to see from the Narwhal Conference of Albion Giants League.
Yeah, you know, game 1 had some good anti-heal. Game 2, a little disappointed.
Yeah. Also, forget Nick. 2 wards. Dose. And here's the problem. This is why you buy anti-heal. Logic had 11,000 healing that game.
Yeah.
That's rough. But that wraps up our cast of UW Lost Souls versus UW Shinigami Vengeance. Thank you for joining me, man. That was a good time.
It was. It was a very good time.
Well,
outside of the lack of anti-heal.
Yeah. Divine be good. Just throwing it out there. Divine, Contagion, Brawler's Beat Stick. Toxic Blade if you're an attack-oriented warrior. Like an AA warrior. Good.
I'm sorry, but Hunters?
No. We don't talk about that. They don't get they don't get anti-heal.
Well, Hunters.
Yeah, you know, we could dream that they do. But we don't. Hunters don't get anti-heal. This doesn't happen.
They have to.
Well, tell that to Hi-Rez, because they decided that, you know, Hunters need to do damage and not worry about anti-healing, which is why they got rid of Shadow Steel Shuriken.
I don't know which.
Yep.
I don't know. Anti-heal. Get anti-heal.
I agree.
Even if you're a hunter.
No, don't do that.
Even if you're a hunter.
Even if you're a hunter. Maybe.
No maybes.
Maybe I'll test it. I'll let you know. I'll get
There's
back
no
to
maybe.
you. I'll get back to you about Toxic Blade on hunters.
There's no maybes.
Maybe the key is like contagion on hunters. Yeah. Honestly, back a couple times last season, I used to do Tainted Steel from time to time. That kind of slaps. Just throwing it out there. Throwing that into the universe. Thanks, Twirlaholic. I appreciate it. It was a good time.